When you pick up a book or watch a movie from another country, how does that actually happen? How does an entire culture, a specific feeling, travel across the globe? For ages, it's been all about intense, painstaking human effort. But now we have technology that can conjure up art in the blink of an eye, and it's changing everything. So let's get into it.
Because that's really the heart of it, isn't it? Translating a piece of art is so much more than just switching out words from a dictionary. It's about capturing a mood, a cultural joke, a visual rhythm. It's making sure that the feeling you get, right here, is the exact same feeling the creator wanted someone to have halfway across the world.
Just take a look at this. On the left, we've got the original Japanese manga. On the right, the final English version. Now, it might look like a simple switch, but trust me, getting from point A to point B is this massive undertaking. It's not just about language. It's about completely rebuilding the artistic experience for a whole new audience.
All right, so here's our roadmap. First, we're going to run what I'm calling the translator's gauntlet to see the incredible human effort involved. Then we'll meet the ghost in the machine, the moment generative AI crashed the party. We'll look at the wild new art market that popped up, and finally, we'll tackle the big one. Is this human versus algorithm? Okay, first things first. Let's really dig into the human side of this. We're going to walk through a case study that shows, in amazing detail, just how much work it takes to bring a Japanese masterpiece into the English-speaking world. So this is A Drifting Life by Yoshihiro Tatsumi. And at 820 pages, this isn't your average graphic novel. It's been called a visual, literary, and cultural behemoth. It's this incredibly dense, historical look at post-war Japan. So you can imagine, translating this thing was a project.
How much of a project? Well, let this sink in. It took 4 months just to get the first draft of the English version done. 4 months. That's before they even got to the final design stages. We're talking about a massive, massive investment of human time and expertise.
And the process itself was just incredibly intricate. You start with a raw translation, sure, but then the really tricky work begins. You have to match every single translated phrase to the right speech bubble in the right panel. Then you have to create what are called mute files. That means digitally erasing all the original Japanese text and sound effects. Only then could the team start building the English version, literally one piece of text at a time.
And here's where it gets even more complicated. This is a fundamental physical problem. In Japan, you read manga from right to left, but in English, we read from left to right. This isn't just, a minor preference. It's built into the very DNA of the artwork. To make it work in English, you can't just change the words. You actually have to change the art itself.
So the go-to technique for this is called flopping. Basically, you create a mirror image of the artwork so that the action flows in a way that feels natural to an English reader. But, as you can probably guess, flipping an artist's original composition is a really big deal. It's not as simple as clicking a button.
And this just shows you how tricky it is. So look here. To make the dialogue in that top panel flow correctly, the editors had to flop it. But that one little change set off a chain reaction. Suddenly, to keep the characters' eye lines in the background consistent, they had to flop the next 2 panels as well. It's this delicate balancing act, all to preserve what the source material calls the illustrative syntax, the visual grammar of the page. And the level of detail is it's staggering. To keep the style consistent with the author's other books, the publisher made a rule. In this entire 820-page book, every single time the capital letter I was used, it had to be manually changed to a lowercase I. Just think about that for a second. The precision goes all the way down to a single tiny letter.
And here's the proof. This document is like the battle log. Every single change, every question, every debate between the translator, the editor, and the publisher was tracked. This wasn't just translation. It was a deep, scholarly dive to make sure they did justice to the original work.
So we have this world of slow, careful human craftsmanship, a world that moves at the speed of months of careful revisions. And then, bam, something happened that just rewrote the entire rule book for how art gets made.
And I mean that almost literally. In October 2022, a technological earthquake hit the digital art world, and the epicenter was right in the heart of anime-style art.
So here's the play-by-play. A company called Novel AI rolls out this super powerful new AI model, specifically trained to create amazing anime images. Just a few days later, they get hacked, and by October 7th, the entire model, the source code, the whole shebang, is leaked online for free. Suddenly, the ability to generate this kind of art wasn't just accessible, it cost basically nothing. Now, this sudden, totally unexpected event created what scientists call a natural experiment. It's perfect, really. Because the AI was only good at anime art, it hit one specific market super hard, while other markets, like say digital wallpaper art, were left untouched. This meant economists could actually compare the two and measure the real causal impact of generative AI.
So the big question is, what happened when this incredibly powerful tool was just let loose? Did it totally crush human artists like so many people feared? Well, the data tells a very, very different story.
And this graph is basically the whole story in one picture. The red line, that's the anime art market, the one that got hit by the AI leak. The blue line is our control group. Now, see that vertical dashed line? That's the moment the AI model was leaked. Before that line, the two markets are moving along pretty much in lockstep. After it, well, you can see things go completely haywire for the anime market.
And here are the mind-blowing numbers. The average price for an anime art commission? It dropped like a rock, down 64%. But, and this is the crazy part, the number of orders went through the roof, up 121%. So, get this, even with prices collapsing, the total amount of money in the market actually grew by a massive 56%.
So where did all this new money go? Did a bunch of new people come in with AI and steal all the jobs? The answer is a resounding no. The study found that 97% of the orders after the leak went to the same human artists who were already in the market. They're the ones who captured almost all of that new growth.
So what was going on? Well, the boom came almost entirely from what you'd call low-end personal commissions. You know, people wanting a custom avatar or a cool piece of art for themselves. The high-end commercial work, that stayed pretty stable. So AI didn't really replace the existing market. It seems like it created a brand new market for affordable personal art, which human artists then jumped in to supply. So now we're left with these two totally different pictures of creativity. On one side, you have the slow, methodical world of human craft, and on the other, the super fast, explosive world of AI-powered markets. Let's put them right next to each other.
Right, so on one hand, you've got the translator's desk. The process takes 4 months. It requires a team of experts, and its entire goal is to preserve the original artist's intent. On the other hand, you've got the AI engine. It takes seconds. It can be run by one person, and its goal is to generate something completely new. They're both creating, but they're playing two completely different games.
And that brings us to the final lingering question. We've seen a tool that, against all expectations, didn't seem to replace artists, but actually grew their market. But we've also seen a level of human intention and craft that right now no algorithm can even touch. So where do we go from here? Is this a simple story of competition, a future of collaboration, or are we just at the very beginning of something else entirely?